All week, I have been seeing one specific book on my social media. Everybody is talking about this. I need to know what the hype is. All I know is it's an enemies to lovers adult fantasy romance with chronic illness rep. I've seen it being compared to The Hunger Games meets Divergent meets House of the Dragon, minus the incest. I have not heard a bad thing, so I ordered a copy, it's arrived, and for this vlog, I'm going to be reading Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. All I know about this book is it's a fantasy with dragons. Our main character is being sent to a war college. She doesn't want to be there. There's a lot of competition going on there. Nobody really likes her. There's a shortage of dragons as well, so there's too many people to dragons, and people are meant to be bonding to these dragons, but obviously there's not enough dragons for everyone to bond to. There's a war going on. I don't know much more than that. The tagline for the school on the front of this book is graduate or die, which doesn't sound like a very fun time, but I'm hoping reading this will be a fun time for me. So this is going to be a spoiler-free reading vlog for Fourth Wing. It is officially the time of year where I have my favourite kind of days, when it's just sunny outside, it's warm, it's blue skies, and I don't have anything that I have to do as we enter into these months. It just makes me so happy, because these are the kind of days I love. We're going out to a National Trust property tomorrow, so I'll take you along with me there, but today I have no other plans but sitting and reading Fourth Wing, which I'm currently around 60 pages into. I feel like this is going to be the kind of book that doesn't pull any punches. I'm really liking it so far. It's a very easy to read writing style with lots of epic action moments already, and I like the fact that we're kind of immediately thrown in and with a character that can definitely handle her own, and I'm really enjoying finding out more about her. She's a really great lead character. I've been told that about halfway through is where this really hits the epic level point, so I'm really looking forward to that. I think I'll probably read a fairly good chunk of this today, because as I said, I have nowhere to go. It's a beautiful day outside, so I'm just going to be sitting outside. I'm at my family home, so we've got the swinging bench here, so I'm in my happy place. I'm going to sit and read, and I'll let you know some thoughts when I've read a bit more. This is going to be my spot for the day. Having a very short break from sitting out in the sun, because it is really bloody hot outside. It's saying on my watch it's 16 degrees, but I feel like it is way warmer than that. It's so nice. I love this weather so much. It's just the perfect reading weather for me. Also, I'm loving Fourth Wing, and I'm so glad I'm loving it. I was really worried that the hype would get to me on this one, because usually when a book is overhyped, I feel like I just go in the other direction, and it doesn't always click with me, and I feel like the hype can get to me with the pressure of feeling like I have to enjoy the book. But I'm really liking this, and I can see why so many people online are talking about it. It's just so addictive. It's leading towards this big climactic moment, and I just need to know what happens, because so far it's being pretty brutal, it's being pretty cutthroat, and I want to know what is going to happen in this big build up, what's going to happen to our main character. I love this main character. She's so fantastic to follow. She's got such a drive about her, and there's a real focus on strength not needing to be physical strength for someone to be strong, and I love that. There's so many opportunities where she could turn back. She wants to be a scribe, or she wanted to be a scribe, and that was like what she was training for, and then her mum put her into the war college, and she doesn't want to be there, and she doesn't feel like she fits in there, but she is making it work, and she's making the best of it, despite the fact that the scribe route could have still been an option for her, but she just keeps going with this, and I love her for her determination. And I love the relationships that she's forming with the other characters, getting a sense of where the slow burn romance is going as well, and I am enjoying the build up there, so I'm really looking forward to how that progresses. I've seen a couple of people also compare it to ACOTAR, which I can see there's the vibe, but it's not like too similar to it. It's just got like a similar vibe in certain aspects. But I feel like there's a lot of comparisons with Divergent, with Hunger Games, but this book does just stand well on its own as well. I think the reason it's being compared to some of those books is because of the big moments that we're building towards, which I'm very excited for. So I'm gonna go get back to reading now. We're doing a spontaneous trip to WATERSTONES. I have points on my card. This could be dangerous. I got some books, some damage was done, except actually, not really damage done, to be honest, because Waterstones, I used some points in Waterstones. I keep saving up my Waterstones points for no real reason, and I actually thought I'd use some on buying the Waterstones edition of Happy Place by Emily Henry. This is so pretty. This is one I've seen everywhere. I do own You and Me on Vacation by Emily Henry, but I haven't read it yet because I'm hoping to do a romance-themed reading vlog pretty soon, and obviously want to be able to bulk out a TBR for that. I don't really know how many books I'm going to add, but I like having the choice of multiple different ones, so I thought I would bulk that out a little further with Happy Place. From what I know, this follows a couple who break up and they don't really want anyone to know because they don't want to ruin their holiday. They on holiday? They don't want their best friend to know about it, so they pretend that they're still together, and I assume some kind of romance rekindles. I don't know, that's the direction I'm guessing it heads in, but I picked up Happy Place. The Works also had a really good sale, so I picked up 2 books, one of them being After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This was £3, which was mega cheap. There's so many books in the Works that are reduced at the moment, a lot of romance. This is following a couple who have been together for a very long time and their marriage is kind of falling apart a little bit, so they are taking some time apart to think about what monogamy and marriage means to them and what they're willing to fight for in that marriage. It sounds like it's going to be on a slightly heavier side, but I kind of expect that from Taylor Jenkins Reid at this point. But I picked this one up because you can never have too many Taylor Jenkins Reid books. I also picked up The American Roommate Experiment by Elena Armas. This one was down to £4. So many reduced books. This is following a secret writer who is having writer's block and also I think loses her home. So she has to go live at her friend's place where somebody else is also living, and they decide to share the same small space. And to reignite her passion for writing and her inspiration for writing, she goes on a series of experimental dates to try and research, and I suppose a romance ensues off the back of that. So that was a little accidental romance themed haul. I didn't mean to buy 3 different romance books. I did want to see if they had Happy Place because I hadn't seen it in a bookshop yet, so I'm glad they did. And then the other 2 just kind of came off the back of being in the sale in the Works. So there's my little haul. I am still obsessed with this book. Fourth Wing is just, it's so addictive. I don't know what's going to happen, and it is definitely tense. I'm on the edge of my seat reading it. I just have no clue who's going to survive, who's not, where the character's going to end up, and I'm so obsessed with it. So I'm going to go and read more of that now because I literally can't stop thinking about it. It is Monday. I am having a comfy working day today, but I bring reading updates and an unboxing. So reading wise, I am over the halfway point in Fourth Wing. I have no idea what direction this is going, and the big climactic points have kind of changed direction now, and I'm intrigued to see where the main part of the action leads. I love the characters so much, and I love the slow burn romance. I don't really often read a lot of romance, as I've already spoken about with like hauling the romance books and wanting to do a vlog for that. It's not a genre I often go to, and obviously this isn't just a romance, this is much more a focus on fantasy than it is anything to do with the romance, but there is a slow burn romance there, and that's definitely some of the thoughts of the main character, and I'm really enjoying reading something like this and just getting that little slow burn romance fix. It's working well for me, so I'm really enjoying this so far. Unboxing wise, I have got the May adult Fairy Loot box here. I am a rep for Fairy Loot who can get you 5% off the first box in your monthly YA box subscription with the code AUDIBLE at checkout. Okay, let's have a look. The theme is Kiss or Kill. Okay, so the book is The Curse of Saints by Kate Dramis. I really like the colour scheme on this. It's kind of rose goldy. It's very pretty. Don't often see books with this colouring. And oh wait, ombre edges. Big fan of the ombre edges. Happy Place with the ombre edges. I really love them. Let's see what this book's about. Hang on, I'm jumping the gun there, aren't I? There's the end pages in the back and under the dust jacket. Oh, that's so pretty. I love the rose gold. Look at it. That's so pretty. Now I'll tell you what it's about. Has she been sent to save the realm or destroy it? As spymaster to the Queen, Aya's blood oath ensures she protects those she fights alongside, including Will, the Queen's enforcer and Aya's bitter rival. When rumours of dark magic rise in a nearby kingdom, both are sent to investigate. But when Aya's power acts beyond her god's given affinity, she risks being turned into a weapon in a war that she doesn't know how to win. And when her relationship with Will unexpectedly shifts, neither knows the danger that will follow. Sounds to me like another fantasy romance. So this is the Fairy Loot exclusive edition. It comes with an exclusive redesigned cover by Monolime Art, ombre sprayed edges, foil on the hardcover by Blanca.design, artwork on the end pages also by Monolime Art, and it's signed by the author and comes with a bonus chapter. So that is the May Adult Fairy Loot book. I've got Patreon sprints later today and I'm very excited because it means I just get to sit and read this. It's so satisfying making progress in a big chunky fantasy, especially when I have definitely been in a slump, I think, for the first part of this year. I've definitely been enjoying reading and I've definitely been reading a lot. I don't know. I've been feeling slumpy, so it's nice to be reading something that's making me very excited to pick it up. So yay! I will give you more thoughts when I'm further in. Okay, I am very nearly finished with Fourth Wing. I have got about 100 pages left, and what I will say for this book, it had a sex scene, and I was really like going into it. I was like, okay, I'm not really one to get on with these kind of fantasy sex scenes. I feel like they're always ridiculous. They're always about 5 seconds long, which is just unfortunate, and they just feel like they're written in a way that is just so ludicrous. And I know it's a fantasy, I get that, but for me I need some realism grounded in my sex scenes, otherwise there's no enjoyment in them for me because it's just so ridiculous. I end up laughing at things. I'm thinking of certain scenes in certain popular fantasy books that are coming to mind. So the sex scene in this book, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It actually lasted a decent amount of time. There was a lot of passion, a lot of steamy heat, a lot of different like exchanges of pleasure, and it felt like it was an actual reflection of what could be like a long, slow burn build up to this moment. I mean, yes, there were still like over the top moments for sure, but it actually was not bad. Which is praise, I think, because I just don't like any sex scenes in fantasy books. So that was good. That was good. I enjoyed that, and I hope that we maybe get another scene like that. I have 100 pages left. I'm going to try and finish it today. I will let you know what I think when I finish this book. I'm really interested to see if I give this 5 stars or if it's going to be like 4 or 4.5. I think it all rests in the ending because a lot of people were saying the second half of this was the best half for them. I actually preferred the first half. I'm still enjoying the second half, but the first half for me, I just thought it was fantastic. It was really fun. The build-up was there. You just didn't know who the author was going to kill off, what was going to happen in that sense, and just generally what was going to happen to our main character because her path was so uncertain. Yes, there are certain tropes that this plays into within this kind of genre, so you do have a kind of a prediction following those tropes, but it still felt very on the edge of your seat, whereas the second half you've got a bit more established, you know more about the characters, you kind of think you know who to trust, you vaguely can see where the main character is heading a little bit more, she can see that as well. So there's less of that intrigue building, but there's more of the big epic action moments, which I usually think are my favourite moments, but actually in this book I think I liked the intrigue the best, of like not knowing what was going to come for her, and now we've got a bit more of a clear idea about that. Still loving it, still really good, but I think the first half for me felt more exciting for those reasons. So I'm interested to see how it wraps up, and I'm gonna find out today. Please ignore the fact that I look like a complete and utter mess today, but I finished this book and I am a complete and utter mess. It was so good. I haven't even run it through Corpal. I just sat down to talk to you. I think it's a 5 star. I think it's, I should probably run it through Corpal, hang on. We'll do it together. If you don't know what Corpal is, by the way, G from Book Rose created it as a system to be able to help review books, and it's just so useful because you can put in what you give different aspects of the book. So for example, characters, you give it a rating out of 10, and then at the end of it, it generates an overall rating, and I find it so handy to help me rate my books. Okay, this will help with the review as well. Characters. I really enjoyed the characters. Don't go into this book expecting it to be like starkly different from anything else, but I really enjoyed reading about these characters. Our main character has chronic pain, and this is something that's very prevalent throughout the book, and how she sees herself and how others see her and the strengths that she has and how her strengths are different. And I just really loved reading about that. I have scoliosis and I'm hypermobile, and that does affect my body in different ways. And reading somebody going through these different steps with different things to other people happening to her body felt really empowering to read about. There's a line that I took a photo of the page actually because it in a very specific way, where the main character is injured in some way and she says, "I'm used to functioning in pain, arsehole, are you?" And I just think it hit me so much, because I'm in pain a lot of the time with my back, or with pulling muscles, or just generally anything that is related to my scoliosis or my hypermobility, and I just kind of am very used to the pain. And when she said that, I was like, yeah, that is what it is. So anyway, I've gone off for one. I really like the characters. I'm going to give them a 9. I've seen some people saying that they thought the characters weren't really fleshed out or developed too much, but I think we still had development from our main character, and I think what was more as well is that we didn't see her change herself. We just saw her get stronger and become more accepting of her own different strengths, and I really liked that. Atmosphere, I think this whole thing felt incredibly atmospheric. It felt very dark and moody, but also had the kind of slight academia function to it as well, with the scholar side of this, and just generally I really enjoyed that side of it, so that's also going to get a 9. The writing was just averagely normal, I would say. Like, I wasn't reading it thinking, oh my gosh, this writing is exceptionally amazing, but it was good writing. I just don't think it was like absolutely stunning, so I'm going to give the writing a 7 because I liked it. Plot. The plot gets a 10. The plot gets a 10. The end of this book, I need the next one. I am so ready for the next one. Intrigue, that's got to be a 10, because I was saying earlier how intrigued I was at the start, and now I'm even more intrigued having finished it. Logic, I can't really fault too much to the logic, to be honest. I'm going to give it a 9? Yeah, 9 feels about right. And enjoyment, it's got to be a 10. I feel like this is coming out as a 5-star read, isn't it? Yeah, 5-star read. There we go. I rated it 5 stars, and that was kind of me giving my review as well, but just generally, I really enjoyed this. I think it was absolutely fantastic and great fun. I think 5 stars is just about perfect for this. It just felt so epic, so brilliant, so full of suspense and heroic moments, brilliant relationships, friendships, romantic relationships, just generally it seemed to have everything. It had huge moments that literally had me like absolutely shocked. I cried at one point in this book, which feels like a very big achievement for me. I felt so invested the whole way through. The writing in this, as I said, is not like exceptionally amazing writing, but the plot is just so fun and I just really enjoyed it. If you just want something you're not going to take too seriously, just have a good time, be on the edge of your seat, this is for you. The climactic moments were so huge and built up throughout the book. Like, there was many different moments that were big climactic moments, and then we built up to the next one that got even bigger. I'm just so invested and I need to know what happens in the next book so badly. So I'm just going to be sat on the edge of my seat waiting until we get book 2. This was great. I'm so glad the hype didn't get to me and put me off reading this, because that is sometimes annoyingly what my brain does, but it was well worth it. And I think if you want a good fun fantasy, then this is for you. Hunger Games, Divergent, and House of Dragon was what I said this was compared to at the start. That was what I'd heard from other people. I don't know how I think still standing on those 3 comparisons for this. I can see why it says the Hunger Games, because it's very cutthroat and brutal. Divergent, I suppose, a little bit same, and the House of the Dragon, I suppose, is just mainly for the war dragon political side of the storyline that's going on. But I think really this does stand on its own quite well, and yes, there are traits of those other books and other stories because of how epic and how intense it is, but I think it stands really well on its own. So this has been a reading vlog for Fourth Wing. Thank you so much for joining me. I've really enjoyed filming this vlog. I hope you've enjoyed watching it. I will see you in the next one.